units. During the 1960s, Detroit's Big Three were locked in an all-out horsepower war, building high-performance machines that were just as at home on the drag strip as they were on Main Street. One of the most underrated of that bunch was the Dodge Coronet. It started life back in 1949 as a full-size family cruiser, but by the mid-60s, it had slimmed down into a mid-size B-body, the same platform shared with the Charger and Plymouth Roadrunner. But in true Dodge fashion, someone decided to turn this family car into a straight-line monster. The result was the Coronet W023, a no-nonsense factory-built drag strip slayer. Everything that didn't make it faster got tossed out. The heater? Gone. Sound deadening? Stripped. Even the carpet was replaced with simple rubber mats. Dodge even ditched the windshield wipers to shave every possible ounce of weight. All that weight saving brought the Coronet down to about 3,451 pounds. Not bad at all for a car of its size. Under the hood, it packed serious muscle, and out of the 55 examples ever built, 39 came with the heavy-duty 727 TorqueFlite automatic transmission. And to make sure all that power reached the pavement, most were fitted with a sure grip rear end and a brutal 487-to-1 gear ratio. The Coronet W023 wasn't built to look pretty. It was built to win, and on the drag strip it did exactly that. 1967 Plymouth Belvedere 2R023, 55 units. The Plymouth Belvedere was, in many ways, Plymouth's answer to the Dodge Coronet. But this one wasn't built for cruising down Main Street. It was born for one thing only: domination on the drag strip. Chrysler's obsession with NHRA superstock glory ran deep during the late 60s, and that's exactly why Plymouth unleashed the high-performance Belvedere 2R023, a purebred, purpose-built B-body engineered for maximum speed. Just like other race-focused Mopars of the era, this Belvedere was stripped of anything that didn't make it faster. If it added weight and didn't help performance, it was gone. The radio, sound deadening, even the hubcaps. What you got instead was a bare-bones all-business machine tipping the scales at just over 3,000 pounds. Under the hood sat Chrysler's legendary Hemi engine, beefed up with heavy-duty internals and paired with a brutal 488-to-1 sure grip rear end that kept all that power in its sweet spot on the strip. Only 17 of these R023 Belvederes were ever fitted with the 4-speed A833 transmission, making them some of the rarest and most hardcore Plymouth drag cars ever built. (1968) Plymouth Barracuda B029 Superstock, 50 units. Back in 1968, the Plymouth Barracuda B029 Superstock was the equivalent of what the Dodge SRT Demon 170 is today, a full-on factory-built drag monster. This wasn't your average street car. Based on the second-generation Barracuda, it rode on Chrysler's smaller A-body platform, making it lighter and more compact than the bigger B-body muscle cars in the lineup. Built with help from the folks at Hearst Performance, the B029 Superstock was a stripped-down, track-focused machine. Plymouth completely re-engineered the chassis, lightened the body, and gave it a heavy-duty rear suspension to handle the insane torque coming from the Hemi V8 under the hood. They even used fiberglass front fenders and acid-dipped steel doors to shave every possible pound. The results spoke for themselves. This thing was a rocket. The B029 Superstock could tear down the quarter-mile in as little as 10 seconds flat, making it one of the quickest factory-built cars of the era. Most experts agree that only 50 of these incredible machines were ever built, though some sources claim as many as 70 rolled out of Chrysler's secret performance program. Either way, the '68 Barracuda Superstock remains one of the most legendary Mopar drag cars ever made. 1971 Plymouth Hemi GTX, 30 units. By 1971, the golden era of muscle cars was nearing its end. Stricter emissions laws and the rising smog regulations were right around the corner, and they were about to change the game, for the worse. But before that storm hit, there were still a few last gasps of pure, untamed American power, and one of them was the Plymouth GTX. Still riding on Chrysler's B-body platform, the 71 GTX carried itself with a mix of elegance and aggression. Its sleek aerodynamic lines and distinctive loop bumper grille gave it a refined, almost upscale presence. But don't let that fool you. Underneath the polished looks was a beast. Marketed as the gentleman's muscle car, the GTX still packed a vicious punch, thanks to the legendary 426 cubic inch street Hemi, which was, as usual, underrated on paper. The base engine was the bigger but lower revving 440 cubic inch V8, and that's what most of the 2,942 GTX left the factory with. The Hemi, meanwhile, remained an expensive upgrade at $884. But for those who checked that box, they were getting one of the last true Hemi-powered icons before the smog era came crashing in.